Coming up on the left. Mike Pence used to vacation, I'm pretty sure, at Casio Bell. It's a nice restaurant. It's a dinner restaurant. Very expensive. But if you want prim and proper, here's where to go for dinner. Morning. There's also the Timbers restaurant on Sanibel. That's, again, for dinner. That's pretty good. It's rare you get nice cool breezes this late in the morning. I mean, it must be about 9:30, but it is nice. There's a cool breeze coming out of the jungle here to my right. Oh, it's nice. I'm surprised they haven't built anything over here. Prime real estate. I know there's a Sanibel River in there somewhere. Oh, there's a house. I see it. Okay, I see a little pathway. Alright, so someone does live in there. The old airport used to be on the right-hand side. Old Gulf Drive. So, it's sad that they had to get rid of that old airport. I was hoping maybe they would just, put homes on the edge of the airport, but still keep the airport. But no, not the case. Oh, I guess here's the access road to get in there. Or maybe not. No, it's not. Anyway, that used to be the airport. I'm pretty sure that was the access road, or thereabouts. I like this shadow over the bicycle path. Wish there was more canopy like this. Morning. Yeah, I greased my seat, all the joints, brakes, the gears. It's helped. It's kept the squeaking down. I have one of those, not WD-40, but it's not lithium grease, but it's a pretty good, I forget the name right now, but it has a long stem that I could get into tight corners with it. I definitely gave this thing a nice workover. So I didn't take all the sand off the bike because this is my beach bike. I mean, it's kind of, if I take sand off, I'm just going to get it back on next time I take it out. So I try to get the sand off. I have a towel that I chamois the bike. Thank you. Right. So I'm trying to think if we're going to stop at Bowman's Beach. That was a nice stop. I think I will. I'll check it out. I'll go on that second bridge that I saw. See if there's any difference. I'm try to go along the beach a little ways. I know it rained over there this morning. I mean, now, look up at the sky, it's clear blue. There is some clouds way out there in the Gulf. Maybe about 15, 20 miles out. But those clouds are kind of to the south. Sanibel right now points south. This is West Gulf Drive. It's starting to point more west, but it still faces south. Morning. So you don't really get a morning or an evening view if you live right here in West Gulf Drive. You're going to get maybe a winter sunrise and a winter sunset if you're lucky. But in the summer, no, you're not going to get any of that at all. The sunset could be obscured, it'll be behind you. The sun will pretty much be behind you all day long. So if you do have a southern exposure, then you'll have a shade, you won't get the sun, except for the winter time, the sun will be in your eyes. Morning. I usually take a self-diagnosis of my condition, and I still feel good. Like I can go all the way down to Land's End. I haven't burnt that much calories. Bicycling on the beach, believe it or not, that takes like 4 times as much calories to bicycle than it does on the asphalt here. So that little stint I took, that mile bike ride on the beach, didn't feel like a mile, but believe me, that was a mile. I burnt a lot of calories. That's like bicycling 4 miles. I think how many miles I've bicycled so far. Let's see. From Sanibel Factory to the causeway, that was it was almost 3 miles. The almost 4 miles. I mean, it's a little over 3. And then the Sanibel Causeway is 3 miles. And then Lynn Green, that was almost a mile. And then going to the garage sale, going to the lighthouse, that was 2 miles plus an extra mile for the garage sale. And then we did go on the beach. So let me see if I add it up. We'll say 4 because I actually went on a little excursion before I put the camera on. So we'll say 4 miles to the causeway, 3 on the causeway at 7, then 1 mile for the garage sale, that's 8, 2 miles to the lighthouse, although I almost want to factor 3 because there's some zigzagging I did in there, but we'll go 2. And then a full mile back on the beach, so that's 11. And then let's see, and then East Gulf Drive to Middle Gulf Drive, that was a little over a mile, say a mile and a half. Middle Gulf Drive, that was 2 miles, so 11, 12, 13, 14, and then West Gulf Drive. So far I've probably gone 3 miles, so you're looking at 17 miles so far, and I'm not even a quarter way. Well, I wouldn't say I'm halfway, but I'm about 1/3 of the way in distance. Quarter. I'm a quarter way of distance to Land's End, so I have to gauge my health, my condition. So I'm coming up positive right now. So I got 2 bottles of water. That helps. That'll be drank at Captiva, that's for sure. I find it nice after I bicycle on the golf course there. I love bicycling on the golf course there. That's what's one of the draws I love doing. Bicycling along the Marina Land's End area, looking at North Captiva, and then bicycling on the golf course. That's just so awesome. And there's like a little beach hut people go for like little hot dogs and stuff like that, and ice cream. That's pretty awesome. There's somebody going with a mountain bike at high speed. That's Island Inn Road. That goes right back to Bailey's. It's a little over a mile ride there. Maybe a mile and a half. Morning. Morning. I can understand. These people are out of breath, so they can't say morning. That would throw off their entire routine. So these people have already been down at Blind Pass. That means that they have had to wake up at 5 in the morning. And running, wow. When you run, usually you leave your transportation behind, so you have to either run in a big circle, which would be the best thing, so you could always bisect it in case you get injured. If you run in a big circle, you can always make the bisect the diagonal back to your car. But some people, yeah, they do a tag event, similar like how I'm bicycling. I'm bicycling the Land's End, I'll tag it, and I have to bicycle back. There's no shortcut bisecting. You know, I should have a little more insurance because my outer tires, not my inner tube, my front inner tube is new. Back rear inner tube, it may be about 3 months old. Still relatively new, but the tires themselves have a lot of what I call water rot. They're weathering. It's basically riding over seashells and hitting a curb or two, hitting a cement jagged curb or two. Yeah, I hit a couple of them. So I'd say I've gone about maybe 18, almost 19 miles by now. Morning. The nice thing about 29-inch wheels, and if they're pumped up like these are to 60 pounds, that they have nice coast factors. If the wind is not, if the wind's not a factor and it's blowing in your direction, you know, it's not hampering your forward momentum. You have with these tires, you have a very good coasting ability. I see Rabbit Road coming up in about half a mile. A lot of bicyclists. I see a lot of bicyclists these are racing bikes and they're flashing lights. So what's all that about? They should have an electric bike. That'd be power assist, be smarter. Morning. It'd be a shame though if you got a flat tire. Again, a lot of these people have. Morning. You know what? That's what Memorial Day weekend's all about. It's getting back to nature. Doing what you postponed for most of your life. These are the days you live it. Morning. Morning. See, that's also a nice gesture too. If you're out of breath, you can just wave. That's what he did, just wave. Which is smart. I agree with that. Alright, so having a tailwind is nice because it's going to allow me to go all down Sand Cap without too much of a problem. I just hope on the return trip that I'll be able to get me another tailwind somehow. Morning. Right. So talking about business ideas. Business ideas. Well, anything with bicycles is a good business. Anything with electric bicycles, that is a good business. People need electric bicycle repair shop. Bicycle repair shops won't do, well, I say they won't. They will do it, but they are not. They're going to charge you money to learn how to fix an electric bike. So if you have an electric repair bike shop on the island, then you're going to make money. And again, it's the same thing. They need people to fix lawnmowers on this island. They need them to fix any type of power tools, any type of lawnmowers, any type of ATVs, any type of car. They don't have those repair shops anymore. They used to have Scotty's. They do have one or two that are tucked away in the back, but like I think Huckster's has a automobile repair shop behind it. Well, at least last time I noticed. I don't know if it's still there now, but that would be a good business. And that location too, right behind Huckster's, right behind Bailey's. You don't need to have front door real estate to host your business. You could have it right there in the back, and it would be relatively cheap. I think what other businesses would be good. I already said about having the pontoon boat, convert that into an ice cream / restaurant offshore. That would be a good business idea. Again, house sitting is always a good idea. If you provide services on the island like cutting grass, painting, doing roof repairs, gutters, that's always needed here. You make a ton of money. Air conditioning repair, especially during the odd hours. Wow. I mean, you can make a $50 service call. People will pay you $50 even if nothing's wrong. It's easy money. And if all you have to do in Sanibel is change the capacitor and go, wow, that could be a $200-300 easy. I did my own air conditioning the other week. I had to position my air handler up in the attic so that, because it wasn't draining the water properly, because the water wasn't draining properly, it was freezing up and causing the entire system to freeze up. So after I positioned the system correctly so that the water would drain, and I had to de-ice the filters, the lines up there, then I didn't have a problem anymore. It drained. The water didn't stagnate, didn't freeze up. It didn't evaporate back onto the coils. Yeah. The bait business is good on this island. I know Bailey's has one, Jerry's has one. I think there is the bait box. And a couple other ones, but they use a lot of bait. Hello. There's a lot of fishermen I saw. The Causeway and the Lighthouse, Line Pass, definitely. The back bayous like Bowman's Beach, off the bridges there, oh yeah. Everyone's fishing. Even Tarpon Bay, they're fishing. People are renting boats and going out for half and full day fishing on every marina on the islands here. And of course, people are always fishing from the beach too. How could I forget that one? I'm always dodging their fishing lines. Most people, they put their rods in the water when they're anchoring them and they walk away from the rods, which is good. But some people still put them on the beach and they expect people to, walkers by and bicyclists especially, to duck or go around them. And sometimes you just can't see that ultra-fine filament that they have for fishing line. Or you don't think that someone's going to put their fishing line 30 yards back from the water, but still they have a live rod with line. And they don't even raise it up 12 or 15 feet. It's only raised like 5 feet. Perfect to strangle someone. Oh, all right, so we're up here at Sandcap Road. So I got a gauge on my bicycle too. There's a positive assessment. Bicycle is performing admirably. I don't feel any degradation in tire comfort, so I know the tires aren't leaking air. Right. Oh, shade. I love it. So we're only about a mile or so from Rebel gas station. I'm definitely going to stop here on the way back and get some more drink. But I think the water that I have will get me to Captiva. I don't want to drink all the water just yet, because if I do, I'll be sweating profusely, and I'm already sweating profusely right now. And that's one of the things, when your body is sweating and it's able to sweat on its own, there's no need to give it water. So your body's burning carbohydrates right now. Obviously the Pop-Tarts I had this morning, or something. Maybe the Pop-Tarts, I shouldn't be eating Pop-Tarts. I had a lot of chicken last night, so there's a lot of protein in my system. So if your body can burn carbohydrates, if you're sweating without drinking stuff, then your body's fine. You don't need any more water at the moment. I know that through exertion and time, yes, your body, yes, respiration, it will deplete in some areas where, and that's when your body starts overheating. That's when you guys drink water. And you have to sip water too, because otherwise, it'll just go right down your stomach. Bingo. Hello? That guy had weird sounding brakes. Again, if I had a racing bike with 1/3 the surface area that I do right now, I could bicycle at least twice as fast. I could probably get the bike up to 22 miles an hour. But then I would just be a street bike. I couldn't go on the beach. I couldn't go off trail. So if those people that just want to stay on the road and the bike path that's paved, at that speed, you're running the risk of, you're definitely not stopping at those stop signs like I didn't stop at. I don't know. I don't approve of that. I think the cars should stop. Bicycles on Sanibel, come on. This is part of your relaxation. You got to come to a stop. It's like a city stop sign. Come on. Oh, you want to plow right ahead. You built up all that momentum. You want to lose it? Cars, gasoline, shit. They could come to a stop and they have fumes. They could get themselves back up to where they're going on fumes. Even electric cars, they have enough juice. Just if they have the regenerative braking, or if they just have a good lithium-ion battery, then sure, they tap the foot and you're already cruising at 20 miles an hour. But a bicycle to get up to 20 miles an hour, wow, a lot of energy. Morning. See, that bike had no front or back suspension, so that's very rigid. Rigid bikes, believe it or not, are good for smooth roads, or if you're going downhill with no bumps. Yeah, it's all right. Right? If you're going down in Hawaii and the road is smooth, that's when you want a rigid bike. That's when you want a bike with really no front shock and no back shock, because you don't want any additional oscillations to affect your handling of that downhill, because you're going up 20-25 miles an hour downhill. Yeah, rigid bike is best. I just nod that time. I could nod too. They wave, I nod. I would love to go to Hawaii or Maui, down those volcanoes. That'd be awesome. Bicycle riding. Very similar to like going up to Georgia and taking a kayak, where they find a big oxbow in the river. They let you out at the top oxbow, and they pick you up at the bottom oxbow. And the oxbow may be 5 to 10 miles, but where the two oxbows meet, it's only a mile, so they pick you up, only have to drive you a mile. It's a good business, especially in North Georgia. They get sometimes $25 for one trip, or $50 for an entire day, sometimes more than that. And all day just means, between whatever it is, 9 in the morning and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They don't go all day. One trip is one trip. But let's face it, if a kayak costs you $100 and you can get 6 to 8 trips in a day, wow, you've already paid for that kayak. So having a kayak business, it almost pays for itself in a week completely. And then maybe 2 weeks more, you're gonna earn enough money to pay for the used truck and the paint job. The truck to tow your trailer, you'll pay for your trailer, and the paint job to advertise. Or you just get one of those magnetic things to put on your driver's side, your passenger door, and maybe one on your tow hitch, on your gate. Oh man! All right, too much talking. I do like the shade though. I still haven't put any sunblock on, so I'm still running the risk of getting some severe sunburn. But as long as there's shade here, that's helpful. And there is a cool breeze coming out from the jungle, Everglades, whatever you want to call it. Ding Darling Wildlife Refuge. Right. Yeah, the key is when time goes by, if you're talking and you're bicycling at a good clip, the miles just go by. The video that I made last week that turned out to be a complete failure. There was a lot of sights to see on that. That was in midday. A lot of people were enjoying themselves. I talked to a lot of people too. I was finding seashells on the beach. I had multiple points of access on the beach. There was high tide again, but it was right after a big storm, so there were seashells all over the beach. I was picking them up. Also found that $10 at the end of the bike ride. I mean, that was like a perfect day. And then to find out, no, I didn't even find out immediately. I thought YouTube was just pulling a fast one on me. Uploaded all the videos to YouTube. Then I uploaded them to Rumble. And I noticed Rumble had the same video YouTube had, the same image. That's never the case. I'm like, what? Why is that? And I started viewing one. I said, oh, videos are ruined. I had to delete them all. So, it's terrible. See, my camera turns off after like 10 seconds. So even though I'm recording, the screen is set to turn off after 10 seconds of inactivity. So, like, if the camera is not, I don't know, I guess it knows when you're touching the camera, but it turns itself off when it's videotaping. So you have to touch one of the buttons to reactivate the screen view. So I'm not touching those buttons because I don't want to turn the camera off accidentally. Alright, so I had my first momentary pause, which means that my body is running low on water, but it's still not serious enough that I have to drink some. I still think I can get to Blind Pass. And I am going to take a trip down Bowman's Beach. I got to check it out. Which will be a distraction. I may actually take a small drink on Bowman's Beach, just to say I've done it. Because I'll break up the trip a little bit. On my way back from Captiva, then it's going to be driving to Rebel gas station and getting my infamous lemonade if I get it. Although I did have the iced tea last time I was there, and the iced tea was very refreshing, so I'm gonna actually get that. That's that brisk iced tea or brisk lemonade. I'll have to make a decision when I get there. I mean, the lemonades go fast. It's $1.50 for one or $2.50 for two. So I'm making. It all depends how hot I am. But if I'm really hot, I'll stay for two, that's for sure. And I have a backpack, so I'll always put one in there. The Arizona iced teas they have, they're only 99 cents. That's actually a better deal. It's the same liter size, but the problem with the Arizona iced tea is that it's out of aluminum can. So once you open it, you can't reseal it. So that's the problem there. If they could just put that in a plastic container, like a plastic liter bottle that's resealable, I mean, I think Arizona Tea should have thought of that by now, but they would sell so much more because, yeah, if you want to drink a whole bottle in one sitting, no problem. But if you're a small child and you can't swig the whole thing, and I mean, I can understand back in the late 60s, early 70s when I was a little kid, you know, once you pop the cap off of a Coke or Pepsi bottle, the bottle itself was pretty heavy. Or if you opened up a can of soda, yeah, you had to hold it. And by holding it, it made the soda warm because it got the warmth in your hand. If you're walking with it, you could spill it. And you can't put an open can in a backpack without it spilling. So I just think Arizona Tea would be smart to come up with a plastic bottle. If they sell a plastic bottle for the same price, probably would cost them less to make the plastic bottle. They would sell 5 to 10 times more. So their profit margin would explode if they can keep their costs. I mean, let's face it, they're and that's again another business idea. If you come up with a soft drink and you're competing with water, I mean, water in the store sells for $1.50. Arizona Tea sells for 99 cents. Even their big gulps are selling, well, the big gulp in there was going for, yeah, $1.29, which is the same size that the Arizona Tea can was coming out of. Even though it was slightly sealable, it had a straw and you could leak through that area. Well, so if you can compete against water and sell your product for less than water, you have a market anywhere, especially if you're selling it out of a plastic bottle. So I would highly recommend it. If you get a bottling plant and start making any type of beverage, and there's actually, believe it or not, there's ways that you can make concentrate using waste, other peelings basically from other citrus plants, like orange peels. You can make limonene from that, but you could also make like that limonene is used in vape and for those vape sticks. So you have orange limonene, you can make lemon limonene with lemon peels, orange peels make orange limonene, and then with orange, and if you boil down the peels just right, I'm not sure if you have to put a little bit of sugar or brown sugar or something in there, but I think if you boil it down, and who knows, maybe even add a little bit of cranberry juice or something, it comes out to an excellent